Hi everyone! Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to today's little hobby happy hour. I hope you're in the mood for some yarn, for some fun, for some little inspiration. Thank you so much for joining us today. For those of you who are maybe new or joining for the first time, my name is Louisa. Welcome. I've got the wonderful Matthias in the studio with me, who is doing all the techie bits behind the scenes, making sure that you get to see and hear and have all these fun experiences, making sure that when I talk to you about certain patterns, we're showing them, etc. And we've got an amazing selection of 14 yarns for you today that I'm going to tell you a little bit about, that I'm going to give you a few insights on, and that you can buy at our live shopping discount, which is 40% off, so not too shabby. For those of you who've watched for a long time, you'll know this week is essentially going to be kind of a normal live shopping after last week's slightly different one, where we focused really deeply on a topic and had a bit more of a kind of insights and inspiration thing going. Today we're doing a kind of old school live episode with just a load of yarns, a load of cool insights and cool ideas. And this first yarn that we have for you, I know a lot of you have been waiting for, because I've seen a lot of requests for it recently. So Jillian is asking, everyone was sick yesterday, or, but not today. No, just Matt was sick.
Basically,
so sorry. Hashtag blame Matt. I was just unavailable to step in. Otherwise, I could have maybe done the bingo, but I couldn't,
yeah.
And so...
And basically, I was sick over the weekend, and I still was sick yesterday. Today, feel better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good. I'm not coughing anymore.
Yeah, but you were also already not feeling great at the end of last week.
Yeah.
So it kind of carried
Wednesday.
over. Yeah, it kind of carried over, because I remember we talked about it Wednesday.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, so that's why we had to cancel bingo, because Maddie wasn't feeling well and I couldn't do it because I had prior commitments, because I didn't know he was going to be sick. Oh, I can see Brandy in the chat asking Matt if he's feeling better. Well, I guess we've answered that. I said to Matt, it's kind of lucky that this happened after his half marathon, because for those of you who don't know, Matt runs. He's a runner. He runs from his problems.
Yep.
And the last time he got really seriously sick, it happened right before he was supposed to run a half marathon, or right before you did run it.
2 weeks before. Yeah.
2 weeks before.
And
so this time it happened after.
Yeah. So
at least there's that. You still beat your PB, so...
I find peace in that. Yeah, I do.
But yeah, I'm really glad. Samara's saying, it sucks I missed bingo yesterday. You did not! Happy news. No, sadly bingo had to be cancelled yesterday because of illness. But we're back. We're strong. Alma is asking, how do we join bingo? So bingo is offered in the Hobby app. It is sadly only available for certain locations and certain markets. That's just the way it is for now. And so you can check in your app if bingo is available for your location. It should just show up in the kind of main menu. And we are live on Mondays for our international English audience. We are live on Tuesdays for Germans, Wednesdays for Danes, Thursdays for Swedes. So those are the 4 markets that we can offer bingo in. There are a few people who are who are living in English-speaking countries within the EU, such as Ireland, where bingo is currently unavailable, and sadly so are a lot of other features. That's just because we're in the process of migrating our pages and everything, and we do that essentially one market at a time. And so the markets that have already migrated are missing some key features, because those can only migrate when the large markets migrate. And so it's all over the next few weeks going to be a little bit of a construction site where 1 week you're able to access some stuff and 1 week you're not. So for instance, if you're watching from Ireland, you will still be able to use the live shopping discount, so Happy 40 is going to work for you on the products that we have. However, you will not be able to access our landing page, sadly, because it's not able to be set up yet in the new system. So basically, you can get out a piece of paper and just write down which yarns were in the selection, or you can, of course, use the American or English general page. Just select whichever yarns you want from there, and then you're gonna just have to remember them and put them in to your cart on the, in this case, Irish page, or if you're joining us from other EU countries. So that's basically what it is. And then Shauna is asking if Happy 40 isn't working. Happy 40 should work. It was working when I tried it earlier. And it should work both on the, like, on a European page and on our international page in general. But Matt's double checking just to make sure that everything is working as it should. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff with the migration. So a lot of stuff isn't working for some markets right now. We're trying to figure it all out. It's essentially, it's a learning curve for us as well, because it's the first time that it's happening for us as well. Yeah, Rebecca's saying Portugal, for instance. Yeah, so that's one example of a market that has already migrated, and therefore a lot of the old features are currently not available. But fingers crossed, everything will be running so smoothly by the end of the summer that you're all going to forget that there were ever any problems.
Yeah, exactly.
This will all be in the past. All right, and with that, some people are also saying that some of the messages aren't coming through. We have sadly had this issue quite a lot lately, that Meta is blocking us from messaging you for some parts of the some parts of our stream, and then at some point it just works.
I could send a message.
You were able to send a message.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Hey.
So hey, at least there's that. So yeah, we're hoping that all of these things will kind of take care of themselves, because especially with some messages not going through, we don't quite know what the bug is, because we've checked our systems. Everything we can control from our end is working as intended. And so we're kind of unsure what exactly it is that is keeping us from messaging you in some cases. Matt has pinned the page, our little landing page that we've built. He pinned it on the chat, so you should be able to find it there. And also good news, if you've ever participated on a live shopping before and you've gotten the link to our landing page, it's actually the same one, so you're gonna find it. Elaine is saying, I'm new, I have no clue about all of this. I'm gonna try and explain it to you as best as I can. Basically, we have a selection of 14 yarns today that I'm going to now tell you a little bit about each of one of them. I'm gonna show them, I'm gonna show you close-ups, I'm gonna share some insights, just as a nice way for you to get to know these yarns that usually you just see on the website, and you'll get the chance to ask questions about it, etc. So, basically, that is step one. Step two is that we offer our live shopping discount on those yarns. So the discount is only available on the selection. It is only available for 24 hours, and it cannot be combined with any other codes. So it's a single use code. And that code gives you 40% off the selection for 24 hours, and you can just apply it at checkout. It is called Happy40. And when you type Happy40 into the Facebook or Instagram chat, what actually happens is you're supposed to get a message to your inbox with a link to our landing page. However, as I said, we've kind of had the problem recently that Meta blocks us from sending those messages out, but then a lot of people are getting them about an hour into the live stream. So when we're live for about an hour, suddenly people keep getting pop, a lot of these messages. So if you've typed Happy40 in the chat at one point, you should be getting the message. I've also set up a follow-up message that should be sent out around 8 p.m. today, 8 p.m. our time. So that's basically how it is. That's how it is. That's how it works. And I think with that, oh, I forgot, we do have something else that's fun. So what you see above me are essentially some of the codes that you can put in the chat that will normally lead to messages being sent to you. So if you want a reminder about the quiz that we have on Thursday, hosted by the wonderful Matthias, then you can type quiz 1 in the chat. If you want to get information on our podcast, you can type pod 1 in the chat. If you want the landing page, type Happy40, etc. So that is what those codes above me are. And then I'm going to tell you about some yarns, and in between, to break it up a little bit, to give you a little bit of a thank you from us to you for participating, we have a total of 4 giveaways. So it's 4 giveaways. Each of them, the lucky winner can walk away with a gift card worth $25 or equivalent in your currency. We will pick one winner, well, draw one winner, but that's already happened, from the people who clicked going on the Facebook event for this specific episode. There will be 2 times where we will find a winner in the chat, and we will pick someone from everyone who gives this video a little like. So if you give the video a little like, you're in the drawing. I could see, sorry, Matt, could you scroll up just 5 people on the chat? There. Sue, or C, is saying that she can't wait to hear more about the Pika-Pau cotton yarn. So this week we actually, because we showed a lot of it last week, so this week we don't actually have it with us, but it is launching tomorrow. And there is going to be, I think, a lot of buzz around it. There's going to be a lot of really cool things. So do stay tuned tomorrow for the Pika-Pau launch. And we will make sure to feature it on Bingo and live in the next few weeks so that you'll get another chance to get to know the yarn intimately and see it. And Jillian is very excited about the quiz being back. Yes, so Jaya and I actually realized belatedly that we miscalculated how we had set up our craft and chat. So what we're going to do is Matt is going to do a quiz time this week, and then next week Jaya and I are going to be back with our final episode of Craft and Chat, which is also great for me because it turns out that I am a lot slower than I thought I was, so I will need an extra week to
Wait, the episode final one?
Well, not the final one.
Yes.
The final one of this specific subset where we are doing the Suki Cal, the Suki Slip Over Cal. So that is going to be next week because we realized that we kind of scheduled everything a little bit all over the place. But it plays into my hand because it gives me a little bit more time to get on with it. So yeah. Rebecca's asking if the Pika-Pau giveaway winner has already been announced. I think that's scheduled for later today, but I am not 100% sure. That is something I would have to ask my colleagues who do the scheduling for our social media. I am not 100% sure if that's already out. I don't know. It will be announced on our social media when the Pika-Pau winner has been picked. All right, so Ashley's saying, I'm at work and I can't participate in the chat much. That's no problem, but you can give this video a little like because then you're automatically in the drawing for a gift card, and otherwise you can just lean back and relax. So I'm going to go and get started with our first yarn because I know that this is one that people have been waiting to hear about, and it is this actually fairly large yarn. This is our new crafting acrylic, and I know a lot of people had asked about this in the last few weeks, so I really wanted to have it on the show ASAP. So our crafting acrylic is, as the name suggests, oh, Matt's setting up the close-up cam.
It's kind of bugging out a little bit.
It's bugging out a little bit. This is crafting acrylic. So crafting acrylic, as its name suggests, is a 100% acrylic yarn. It's a worsted weight, so it is really nice and chunky, really nice and voluminous. Has a really, really nice soft touch to it. I'm showing you the green, of course I am. This particular one is color 33 that I'm holding right now. You get 380 yards on one of these. So like I said, they're pretty big skeins. These are 6 ounces. So you actually get quite a lot of yarn and quite a lot of weight and volume in one go. The recommended hook or needle size is a 5mm to 6mm, so really nice for those of you who are looking for maybe a yarn for a nice blanket or a nice cardigan, for something that'll have a little bit of sort of volume to it, a little bit of warmth. And like I said, it is a very nice and soft yarn. It is machine washable at low to medium temperature, so easy to take care of, and just a great little sort of staple for anyone who loves crafting with acrylic, for anyone who likes worsted weight yarns. It's very sort of lightweight for its size, and just really nice, really nice yarn. I'm going to show you. I think the red is going to have a hard time showing up on camera, as it usually does, but we do have some more colors. So the bright red, like really bright red, is color 12. This one, this lovely kind of pink. Come on, focus. There we are. That's better. This is color 17. I also have this nice kind of yellow here. This is color 7. And I do have some swatches to show you as well, just to give you an idea of what this yarn looks like when worked up. So here you can see it kind of. There you go. It's a very nice soft surface, and yeah, it's a pretty versatile yarn. Here we have a few different swatches and a few different stitches to sort of give you the idea of like what it looks like, depending on how tightly or how much height your stitches have, whether you go with like a half double crochet or double crochet or treble.
How does it compare to a yarn like a mega ball?
I would say it is quite similar to a mega ball in terms of the material. I will say that I think this is a little bit softer. and just a little bit more voluminous. So that would be kind of my 2 cents. And I cleaned up the studio before we went live, and I moved all the mega balls back to the other side, so literally can't show them next to each other right now. But I would say this is a little bit I would say that this is a little bit softer personally. So it is essentially designed for any kind of crafts you might want to do. To me, this kind of screams blanket. Yeah, someone is asking how many colors are available. Matt, would you mind showing us the entire color chart? We do have quite a few colors. I have a handful here in the studio, but Matt is showing you all the ones that are available on the website. So you can see them there. It's a really nice range. It comes in sort of like 3 to 4 per color. So you have like 3 different yellows. You've got like 4 different blues or 5 different blues. So I think a really nice, again, palette that kind of suits pretty much any kind of project. Because the yarn is brand new, we don't really have any patterns for it yet. However, I checked and someone had already started with it, and that's Donna, and Donna made these granny squares. So Donna is the first person to have uploaded a picture into the user gallery using these beautiful colors to make these little granny squares. And so I wanted to show you that as well, to give you an idea of also kind of how the colors look together and like how nicely they like can be matched up, because I wasn't sure which colors I was going to be able to show you today. But yeah, this comparable weight to regular Mega Ball or Aran Mega Ball. I'm pretty sure this compares to Aran based on the thickness of the thread. So pretty sure this compares to the Mega Ball Aran in terms of yeah, how at least based on like how big the thread looks. So I would say compares to Aran. This is Crafting Acrylic, brand new, only just came out like a few weeks ago. And this one specifically, I've forgotten your name, I'm so sorry. But one of you for the last few weeks asked about it in every single live. And I was so excited when I saw today that it was on the table. I was like, yes, we can do Crafting Acrylic. So I've forgotten your name, I'm very sorry. But this was for you specifically to show you this yarn up close. So we have it in whites and cream colors and all the like kind of neutral shades as well. You could make amigurumis with this as well. There's pretty much no limit to what you want to do, unless you want to work super fine details. Then of course this is a worsted weight, so you are going to work with a slightly thicker thread here. So this is Crafting Acrylic, first yarn of the night, and it is 40% off if you use our code HAPPY40 for the next 24 hours. So be sure to grab it at the discount if you want to check it out. So Crafting Acrylic by Hobbii, yarn number 1
by Hobbii for hopsters.
For the hopsters, by the hopsters. I chatted a lot with 2 of our product managers and procurists today, because they were also clearing up some space over on the other side, and it is always so nice to talk to them about sort of what yarns they're working on or what their plans are for future yarn launches, and just to hear, because a lot of them will ask like, so Louisa, what do the people ask for on the live, or what do, you know, and I love this job, not gonna lie, this is amazing, but I'm like, oh, that would be nice. That would be a cool job to have. For those of you who want to hear a bit more about it, our lovely colleague Kat, who is one of our procurists, is actually featured on 2 episodes of Jaya's podcast, or of the Hobbii podcast. So Jaya sat down with Kat for 2 episodes. So if you want to check that out, recommend. Karen is saying, use a smaller hook for amigurumi. Yes. Those of you who were here last week, that was even a quiz question, I think. Yeah, if you're working amigurumi, you are going to want to downsize your hook from whatever the recommended hook size is. And do remember, the recommendation is there to kind of give you an idea, but your personal style of crafting plays a much bigger role there. So I crochet very tightly, so I usually have to size up my hooks for more comfortable crafting. I talked to Katie Jones about it when we were doing our make along with her, and I interviewed her about it. And I remember she said this, and this has been engraved in my brain since then, because she just said, change your hook, don't try, like, always change your hook, don't try to change how you work, because trying to like just constantly work much looser than you normally do, that's going to work for maybe a day, but if you do a big project that's going to take multiple weeks, it is going to be so much harder to just every single time force yourself to work in a way that's unnatural for you, rather than just sizing up or down on the hook size or needle size. And I just thought that was a very, very good insight from an amazing designer who was so lovely to talk to. So yeah. Someone was asking if the code is going to work with the Pika Pau yarn. It will not, no. The Pika Pau yarn is not out until tomorrow, and it's not part of this live shopping this week. So, future live shoppings?
Ooh,
maybe.
yeah.
Today's live shopping, no. We did do an entire episode about it last week, but that was more so that we would get a chance to show you the yarn before it came out and kind of give you that like exclusive sneak peek. But no, it's not part of today's live selection. All right. Oh, I love that people are now putting some really good sort of ideas on what they would love. So Angela's saying, I'd love a sport weight alpaca silk. Stuff like that. I will pass those things along because you never know. You ask for something and one day it suddenly appears. We asked for salt and solid for a really long time. We have salt and solid now. So those kinds of things are like, it sometimes takes time. Good things take time, but it does happen. We're going to move on with our next yarn. Matt looked at me so expectantly. I was like, this is Horizon. I've grouped kind of the acrylics together for this first segment. And Horizon is for those of you who want to work with loads of color, but who loathe weaving in loads of ends, because Horizon just gives you a lot of really, really vibrant colors in one go. It is a... Could you... No. Go down. Down, 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 down. Change that to US.
Oh, did you not have the yards and stuff like that?
No.
I see.
So this is Horizon, and what you get with Horizon is kind of blocky stripes. So one color ends and the next one begins. There is a little bit of bleed wherever the color changes are, but you're not going to get these sort of gradients. You're going to get stripy stripes. It is a DK weight or light worsted weight. So as you can see here, you get a sort of very nice thread with a recommended hook or needle size of 4 to 5 millimeters. So nice. I'm showing you the dark one. I think the light one works better because it's going to show up more in contrast. There you go. There you can see. It has a really, really nice, smooth... Come on, focus camera. Focus on this. This is what we want to focus on. There we go. Well, that's as close as I can get, I think, without it losing focus. So as you can see here, you get this really nice, smooth surface to the yarn, which is going to make crafting with it really fun. It means it glides nicely and it is very, very soft once worked up. It works great for things like granny cardigans or hexagon cardigans, for instance, because you get these kind of effortless color changes, which is really lovely without having to worry about 5 million ends to weave in. It comes in a really, really nice color selection. Matt is actually showing you some of the swatches that we have for it, because that's a good way also to show the stripes. And as you can see, actually, Matt, if you go back one, as you can see here, between the kind of lighter, kind of almost buttery color and the beige, you will see that sometimes there is a little bit of variation just in how much the dye takes. So there is a little bit of a natural variation sometimes in the colors of this yarn. That is intended. However, it is not a sort of gradient where they melt into each other like other yarns that we have. Matt is showing you here some of the nice swatches that we have, and you can just see loads of really, really vibrant colors, loads of really, really bright colors.
Oh, there's a little green in there in the middle between all the muted ones.
It is, I think it is kind of just this like dark black that kind of fades to green a little bit.
I see, yeah.
But yeah, like that's the nice thing, like Horizon has these really, really nice colors, and it is really nice and soft. So someone's asking if there's any tips for crocheting with ribbon. So one thing I would recommend is, again, kind of work out which hook or needle works for you. Ribbon, I know, has a very, very high recommended hook size. I want to say like a 9 or 10. I actually work it up with an 8, and that works really well for me. So again, sometimes it's just a bit of a matter of figuring out what you want. The one thing with ribbon that I think is also kind of, it will, or for me, it always looks a little bit chunky when I work it up. So there isn't really, I haven't found a way around that. So if that's not the look you're going for, then I think it might just not be the yarn for you. But if you're looking for something that will have that kind of, yeah, very nice and thick, very nice and sturdy, also sort of stitch definition, then ribbon's going to be good. I'll talk a little bit more about ribbon a little bit in the future when we get to it. But for now, here are some ideas on what you can make with Horizon, more specifically some things that you guys have made with Horizon. You can see anything from gorgeous blankets to toys to scarves to little cardigans, a nice little poncho, a pillowcase, and there are so many beautiful options for this yarn. Jillian is saying I'm using a 5. I think that might be with ribbon. It really depends on what you're going for in terms of how tight you want your stitches to be, also how sturdy you want it to be. So I've made a laptop sleeve and a little kind of case for a tablet out of ribbon, and those things, of course, it's okay to have a little bit to be a little bit more flowy and a little bit more soft. If you're making something like a basket, you may need to downsize depending on how tightly you work with it, just to make sure that you get a really, really sturdy base. It really depends on a number of factors, but I feel like 5 might be a bit small for ribbon. That is at least, but again, I crochet very tightly, so for me, I think that would be too small. Right, where were we? We were talking about Horizon. So Horizon gets you 601 yards, pretty much 600 yards. What's that 1 yard gonna do? 601 yards of light worsted or DK weight yarn. The recommended hook or needle size is a 4 to 5 millimeter, and it is machine washable at a low to medium temperature. So similar to the crafting acrylic, easy to take care of and well suited to a large number of different projects. It's a really, really fun yarn for those of you who love color. I can see Jessica on the chat saying Horizon is one of my favorite. And Jillian is saying the bath mat pattern calls for a 5. That could very, very well be, depending also on what the designer's preferred hook or way of working is. So it could just be that. If you're really, really struggling with it, I would recommend maybe upgrading. Going up a hook size if you're struggling. And Brandy saying, Matt, go back. There is my sweater in the user gallery. Matt has pulled it up for you, Brandy. It is a super cute granny square sweater, which uses a wide range of different yarns, and it looks super, super cute. Very nice. I especially love the kind of seam running down, which I think is made in Metallico. I think that looks really cool. Brandy, very nice project. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you to all of you for uploading your pictures. It's always really awesome to see, and it's really nice just to have a way of showing what is possible with different yarns. So this was Horizon, which is 40% off if you use our code HAPPY40, which is available for 24 hours to grab yourself a nice little bit of yarn. And we do have one more super lovely soft acrylic yarn here today, and that is Kind Feather. Kind Feather, I think, is my personal favorite. Ellen is saying that last yard is so that you don't play yarn chicken. I mean, fair enough. I will say, I'd rather have 601 yards than 600 yards. It just feels really odd to be like, yeah, it has 601 yards of yarn. A lot of people are showing love to Brandy's sweater. So Kind Feather, the final acrylic yarn in this first little section of the stream, is my personal favorite when it comes to acrylic yarns, I would say. At least when it comes to solid colored acrylic yarns. This is another light worsted or DK weight. It is actually very similar in weight to Horizon. I'm going to be able to show them to you next to each other, I hope, if the camera will focus. So the lighter purple you see here is Kind Feather, and this is Horizon. Kind Feather's texture looks a little bit different, but both of them have a very nice smooth surface. So if you're looking for something that will look nice together, I do think that these two could look very nice together. It is a light worsted DK weight. Recommended hooker needle size is between 4.5 millimeter to 5.5 millimeter. So really nice, that medium size that I like, because I'm a bit lazy, so I always like a 4.5 and up for my projects. You get 257 yards on one of these skeins, and it is machine washable at a low to medium temperature, so it is also super easy to take care of, and it is so nice on your skin. The idea with creating this originally was to give people who are not using wool for various reasons an alternative that has that like nice luxurious touch that you get from like a nice superwash wool. So I think the idea was sort of to give you as close to the real deal as you can get while being allergy friendly. It is very, very squishy. It is super, super soft, and it just feels so nice to touch. It was, I think, one of the first acrylics that I tried out that I really, really loved. So Kind Feather, really, really love it. Josephine is saying, I worked with Horizon and Kind Feather together. Kind Feather is a tiny bit thicker, but it still works together. So very, very nice. And Jillian is saying, I've been waiting to try Kind Feather. Would it be good for a baby blanket, or is it too fuzzy? So this is a really, really nice premium acrylic. It is supposed to be anti-pilling as much as yarn can be. So the idea is that this yarn should be amazing for things like a baby blanket, because it isn't really going to fluff up a whole lot. And instead it has that really nice kind of almost sealed surface. I think I've said this before, it's one of those yarns similar to Sunbird, for instance, that almost reminds me a little bit of mercerized cotton. So it has that kind of very, very, very smooth surface, which means there's less friction, which means there is going to be less, likely to kind of pill up over time. June is asking if these discounts are just for the US side. So these discounts are actually available side-wide. So no matter where you're shopping from, if we ship there, you should be able to use Happy 40 for the discount. So for the UK, for instance, for other like European countries, the code should be available for you all. So Happy 40 for 40% off. I'm not sure about the countries that don't use the euro. So if you're in a country that doesn't use the euro, it might not work. Not 100% sure about that.
We're having a lot of people whose screens are freezing every once in a while. It's a Facebook thing, and I am taking it up with the CEO or the owner.
Matt, don't antagonize. Don't antagonize Mitchell.
I am.
Matt, one day we are going to come in here. We're going to try and go online, and it's going to be blocked.
I don't care how sick I get. I'll do it.
You'll personally fly to wherever Facebook's headquarters are?
Yes.
Where are they?
Actually,
are they in San Francisco? Is it or Silicon Valley?
See you there then.
Yes.
Yep.
So basically the code works side-wide. It works, everyone who's still on the old system, it works for them. On the new system, I'm not 100% sure if it's going to work in Poland, for instance, because I'm not sure. I don't think it's set up for that. But yeah, should be working. Hashtag blame Meta. No, let's not. Imagine if that hashtag starts trending and then people find us and then we get banned from Facebook forever. Matt is excited at that prospect. I'm not, because I'm a rule follower and I like doing this and I want to keep doing this, and I can't if we're banned.
Someone has to ask for some quality.
All right. This is Kind Feather, which is 40% off with our code Happy40, which should work side-wide no matter where you're shopping from, as long as we ship there. Yeah, this is a super lovely wool alternative if you're looking for that. Just very, very nice. Big recommendation from me. Great for things like scarves, great for things like cardigans. I think we put out some patterns, right? I've picked out a cute pattern for a cute top that I want to show you, just because I think it looks really cute and perfect kind of for spring right now. This is the Woodstock crop top, which is another kind of granny square, or like a little pentagon. That's a pentagon, right? That has 5 sides.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
I was so used to saying hexagon because of the hexagon cardigans, and then I was like, wait, but that only has 5 sides, right? So this cute little crochet top, it's an intermediate level crochet pattern that you could make with kind feather. So that was just one cute example of how you could use this yarn.
We have someone saying that it doesn't have Happy 40 doesn't work in Ireland, but I believe it does.
It was an hour ago.
It should.
Can you try it again, just to double check?
I'll try it out.
Matt is checking it, but it worked an hour ago. So you will need to type it in manually. You will have to add everything to your cart manually and then type in the code. The landing page does not work. I know that, but the code itself should work. Matt is trying it now. Oh, I hope I didn't I hope I didn't do anything wrong when I set it up. Matt is checking it. I'm gonna continue. Ruth is saying, I am a rule follower. I don't know. Yeah, I am. That's me. Okay, Happy 40 does work in Ireland, or at least it works on when we go on the Irish page, so it should work no problem. But yeah, if you type Happy 40 in the chat, the link for the landing page, so the landing page is not gonna be working, and we have seen that a lot of people are not getting our messages right now. Just bear with us. You will get them throughout the stream or later at a later time. If you've typed it in once, that's more than enough. You're going to get your link eventually. And the offer is valid 24 hours, so that's all good. So with that, that was Kind Feather, our last yarn from this first little acrylic batch, and that means it is now time for me to reveal the winner of our first giveaway. This person was drawn from everyone who clicked going on our Facebook event, and thank you to all of you who did. It means a lot to us, and congratulations to Brandy Nicole Hewitt, or Hewitt, but I think it might be Hewitt. Brandy Nicole Hewitt, congratulations. You are our first winner of the night. You are going to receive a gift card with 25 monies. And in order to get your gift card, please send an email to live@hobie.com. That is Brandy Nicole Hewitt. Congratulations. You are our first winner of the night. We do have 3 more giveaways. We will, at 2 times throughout the stream, ask you to put a little code word in the chat to participate. And at the very end, someone is going to get picked from everyone who gave this video a like. So even if you can't participate on the chat, even if you have to maybe run because you have a prior commitment, no problem. Just make sure to leave us a little like for a chance to win. And then I guess come back and check if you won to make sure that you don't miss out. So someone is saying that your next raid is going to be Matt Visits Meta.
That's right. I'm going to start the revolution.
And live stream it.
Yes.
I'm gonna hand you
on
this.
Meta while we do it.
But we're gonna get in so much trouble. We won't. Matt won't actually. We have to figure out where the...
Are you saying I won't?
2 minutes ago you said you don't know where the headquarter actually is.
I'll figure it out. I have Google on my side.
With the help of Google. That's what's happening.
YouTube for the win.
Okay, so a lot of people are saying that their code is working. Amazing. And Nicole's saying that she has a friend who works for Meta.
Well, there we have.
We have an in. We have an in. Tell your friend to fix the chat on the Hobie lines. No. It's the same as like I just explained that we are currently in the process of migrating some of our setup, and that's causing some issues. There's nothing we can do about that for now, but a lot of it will get fixed in the long run. And I'm kind of imagining it's probably the exact same for Meta as well. That they're just also experiencing stuff where they say, yes, we're going to fix it. We just don't know how and when and where. And Sprout saying, if I tell you not to, you will just do it more. I mean, that is the dynamic that Matt and I have going in our life. Judy's asking, what is the name of the craft yarn? So the first yarn I showed today is Crafting Acrylic. So it is just called Crafting Acrylic with this cute little scheme. So this is the first yarn I showed today. We do have some more yarns coming up. So this next batch is fuzzy yarns. This next yarn is... Happy 40 isn't working on Crafting Acrylic because it's already discounted. Oh, so the Happy 40 always applies at the base rate. So it applies to the base price of an item. It doesn't apply to a sales price. That's because on the main page we can disable all these discounts, but it is going to work. Can you double check for crafting acrylic on the Irish shop? Yeah. Basically, the way our checkout is set up, it gives you the best possible deal. If that deal is the already existing discounts, then it won't apply Happy 40. But yeah, I may have missed that when I set it up. But it should, because it's the maximum you can get is 30%, so it should give you 40% off instead of the 30. Matt is checking it. Yeah, it applies. Happy 40 applies to crafting acrylic. It should work, no problem. But yeah, it always applies on the base price of an item. It essentially then replaces the bulk discount. If the bulk discount is lower, if the bulk discount were higher, it wouldn't, but because 40% is higher than the bulk discounts we offer, it should work. Julie's saying, you keep saying that, it'll get fixed. Not true. I mean, it will eventually, but yeah, it's also not us doing the fixing, so it's kind of, the problem is we can only, yeah, let you guys know what we know.
Well, that's not the only thing I will do.
Alrighty, we've got the next yarn coming up. We've got the next category, which is the woolly and the kind of fuzzy yarns. I kind of grouped them together like that. This next yarn is another big favorite for those of you who are looking to make things for babies, for instance. But this one is a 100% wool yarn. So this is our Friends Extra Fine Merino, which is a 100% merino yarn. It is a sport weight, so a nice kind of thinner quality. It's got a recommended hook or needle size of sort of 3 to 4 millimeters or 4.5 for crocheters. I like working this up with if it's worked up by itself, my preference would be a 4 millimeter and then a 4.5 if I'm combining it with other yarns. So this is Friends Extra Fine Merino. You get a beautiful, beautiful, good quality superwash merino yarn. It's 180 yards per donut. Oh, I miss Steven. Anytime I say donut, I just think of Steven. So he always referred to these shapes as donuts, so now I do as well. Don't know if that's the professional term for it, but it is the hobby term for it, I guess. So it's 180 yards per skein. For this gorgeous yarn. You can machine wash this at medium temperature, so it's easy to take care of, and it is a super lovely soft material. So merino wool is the softest sheep's wool you're going to be able to get out there, and this is a very, very nice fine quality, so you get a really, really nice soft to the touch yarn. Most people that I know that are sensitive to wool are completely fine using this. Of course, it always depends on exactly how sensitive your skin is and also to what exactly you are sensitive. But this would be a big, big recommendation for me, from me for a wool yarn that is super nice and super nice and softy soft. Marjorie's saying, I also call them donuts. Okay, I'm very glad. I picked it up from Steven and then I just started saying it. And then people were just saying, like, at some point someone asked me about it, and I was like, I don't know if that's the professional term. That's just how I've been now taught to think of them. Someone asked for the weight. It's 1.75 ounces. If you mean the yarn weight, it's a sport weight. You get 180 yards for one of these. This yarn you can use for pretty much anything, again. But I specifically actually pulled out 2 baby patterns that we have relatively new. So this first one is the Candy Stripes baby blanket. And since some of you asked about a baby blanket earlier, I thought that's how fortuitous that I have this in. Nicole just said Extra Fine Merino is the only wool that won't make me itch. I'm very happy to hear that you found one that works for you. And I'm very glad that it is Extra Fine Merino because it is one of my favorites. So the Candy Stripes baby blanket that you were just seeing is a beginner-friendly knitting pattern for this cute 2-colored blanket. Of course, you could make it 1 color, but of course the idea is that this stitch pattern really shines when you do it with the 2 colors to have these cute little stripes. The pattern is available for free on our website, and the yarn usage is about 6 skeins in total for this one. We do have, if you're looking for a baby that wants to be extra, extra warm, so not just a nice blanket, but you also want to keep it super warm, we also have this pattern for an adorable little sleep suit. This is an intermediate level knit pattern. It's available in the sizes from basically newborn to about a year old, and it is this super, super cute. It's the petal sleep suit. So the petal sleep suit, made in our extra fine merino, which I think looks super, super cute, so adorable, and is definitely a very sort of Scandi product to me. I feel like I see so many babies out and about in the park right now where in the evenings it still gets quite cold. You'll see kids wearing these kinds of little overalls, and it's so cute. And you could make yourself, I was gonna say you could make your own, and then in my head I was like, you could both make your own sleep suit and your own kid. So it's an all-around DIY project that is happening there. So all of those patterns, by the way, I have linked on our landing page. So and more. There's some linked there for Horizon as well that I didn't get around to showing you. So if you do want to visit the page later, Matt has linked it in the chat and has pinned it. So at the kind of top of the chat, you should be seeing a pinned comment that has the link to this landing page. Also, if you've joined us before, the link stays the same, so you can just use last week's link again. It'll lead you to this page this week. And also, what else was I going to say? We have seen that for a lot of people, the links start popping up about halfway through the live or about an hour after we've started. Everyone who's put Happy 40 in the chat will suddenly get a ton of links sent to them. So it should work. So this was our extra fine merino, which is 40% off for the next 24 hours with our code Happy40. I actually really like this color combo I've been holding here. These colors kind of accidentally matching quite nicely in my opinion. For those of you who are curious, I'm going to quickly look up which colors I'm holding. So this is color 48, and then I was holding, well, this is color 73, and then the olive green is color 109. So for those of you who are curious, I kind of think that these actually look really cool together. Again, I think it's giving me those like retro vibes of this is something I would have worn in my childhood, this color combo.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is our friend's extra fine merino. And for all you wool lovers, for those of you who say, I don't care if it's a little bit rougher on the surface, it's not exactly itchy, but it has that rougher classic surface of real wool yarn. This next yarn is for you, and I've been wearing it all night. So I'm wearing the Pascal unisex slipover, which is a free pattern that we have on the website. It's the Pascal slipover, which is this cute little knitted slipover. I did not knit this myself. This was knit by a tester. I'm just wearing it for demonstration purposes, and because it I accidentally am wearing kind of head to toe blue. I don't know. I just wanted you to be able to see my pants, which are also blue. So I'm just accidentally head to toe in the same color, and then I thought, oh, this is gonna go well. Ooh, someone asked for the blue number for the so this is 94 of the extra fine merino. I hope that's the one you wanted to know. So yeah, this is the Pascal unisex slipover, which I've been wearing, and it is made from Highland wool. Highland wool is, as the name suggests, a yarn made from 100% Peruvian Highland wool. So a very, very nice, very, very woolly yarn. So this does have the characteristic slightly rougher woolly surface. It isn't the itchiest wool yarn I've ever held in my hand, but if you know you're very sensitive, then maybe keep that in mind and maybe make something like this slip over, which is just on top of a long sleeve shirt so it doesn't touch my skin, instead of making something that you're gonna constantly wear. If wool doesn't bother you, this could also make a really cute little scarf or a really cute little hat. It's a light worsted or DK weight, so again, a slightly kind of thin medium thread. The recommended needle size is a 4mm, 5mm hook size. So it is kind of on that, yeah, light medium spectrum in terms of thickness. We do recommend that you use a wool detergent to take care of this when washing it, and hand wash it so that it doesn't kind of felt up, stretch out, and so it's very nice. Tiffany's saying, I touched fisherman wool yesterday and I was shocked that it didn't bother me. I find it really interesting. I've talked, because I work at a yarn company, as you would believe, we talk about yarn quite a lot. And it's really funny because one of my friends knits a lot, and she loves knitting sort of Fair Isle sweaters and like kind of classic Norwegian ski jumpers and stuff like that. And she was saying the other day about some of her favorite yarns, and we used to have a yarn way back in the day called Arctica, which was a Faroe Island wool, and that was a really, really warm, super, super warm, but quite coarse wool. Very much a classic Nordic natural product. And she found 2 or 3 skeins and she was so excited about it. And she was like, this is what I want. This is the perfect material. And I found it so interesting because I remember when we launched the yarn, a lot of people came back to us and said, oh, it's too rough, it's too coarse on the skin. And to her, she was like, no, this is exactly what I want. And I find it really, really interesting because I'm not sensitive. So I could wear this on my skin, no problem. So yeah, it's really, really interesting. Ruth is saying, how do you learn about the different yarn weights? I'm still not quite sure about them. I would love a tutorial on different yarn weights and what they're good for. So actually, I have 2 resources that you can check out. One is actually our blog. We do have a blog. It's a little bit hidden on the website. It's kind of towards the top. And it has a lot of different very cool articles. Oh, Matt's showing you where to find it. So you find it at the very top, like just under that top banner, there is our blog. And it has an all about yarn section, for instance. And we have an article there that decodes some of the yarn weights and categories. And then also there is an entire episode on our podcast where Jaya also did a deep dive on the topic of what are the different yarn weights, the different yarn groups, which items are used, or which wool weights are used for what, etc. So if you want to check out the podcast, Skein and Tell, you can do that too. The blog actually has what I think is really cool. For a lot of them, they're coming out one at a time. There's little written, summaries. So for those of you who might not have time to listen to the episodes, you can actually also read them there. And the podcast is available everywhere where podcasts are available, and it's completely free. You can find it on Spotify, you can find it on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and on our YouTube channel. So check it out. It's called Skein and Tell. If you want, you can also put pod1, so POD1 in the chat, and you're going to get a link, hopefully sent to you, that has the link for Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Podcasts as well. So yeah, those are 2 resources I can recommend to get started with. And then if there's any questions after that, feel free to always come back here in the chat and ask about it, or reach out to our community, or also to our customer service, and we can find more information for you or recommend more resources for you. Matt is going to pull up the color palette for Highland Wool, which is absolutely beautiful. So the entire color palette is these beautiful, beautiful kind of deep shades with these very, very lovely sort of saturated colors, and it is absolutely lovely. It has some beautiful jewel tones, and I'm gonna show you a little close-up of the ones that I have here just to give you a good view of it. Some of the colors, not all of them, but some of them are very, very lightly kind of mottled, so you have that little bit of kind of the melange look to them as well. So very, very nice. So this is Highland Wool. Someone's asking when Extra Fine Merino in black is coming back in stock. I sadly don't know. Reach out to our customer service. It's support@hobie.com. They can then look up the actual shipment data and tell you when it's coming, if it's ordered, etc. I don't know off the top of my head, sadly. So this is Highland Wool. And I do actually have 2 more patterns I wanted to show you, because I also have them here with me to show you. So this first one is called the Tulip Cardigan. It is a beautiful knit pattern for this super cute cardigan. It is a slightly smaller size, and I am already in the studio lights quite hot, so the slipover is already quite warm. That's why I'm not wearing the cardigan. I originally was thinking of doing that. But this is the tulip cardigan, and this is what it looks like when worn. It is a very, very beautiful pattern, available from sizes extra small to 5XL. So you can... There are these lovely details along the sleeves and then towards the bottom. So very lovely, very, very lovely cardigan made in Highland wool, and the pattern is available for free on the website. So this is the tulip cardigan made in Highland wool. We do have a second beautiful pattern for you today, and it is the ripple cardigan. There you see it worn. I'm going to show you what it looks like IRL in just a second. This is another experienced knit pattern, also available from sizes extra small to 5XL, and that pattern is also available for free. And this is what it looks like here in the studio. This one I could probably wear actually in terms of the size, but again, very, very warm. It is Peruvian Highland wool is made to keep you warm when you're up in the mountains, and we are very much not in the mountains. We are in Copenhagen, which is going through a little bit of a, like, not heat wave, I don't want to say that, but it is dry. Quite warm. Yeah. So, but here you can see some of the cute details on the cardigan. Also really love these buttons. Yeah, so this is the ripple cardigan made in Highland wool. And so I just saw some people saying like that they love the details on the cardigan. It is they're both really lovely patterns. They're linked on our landing page, so if you do want to check them out, they're also linked there. And also you can always find the patterns that I show on the product pages for the yarns that they correspond to. So if you go to the Highland wool product page and you check the patterns tab, you will actually find the Pascal slip over there. You'll find the tulip and the ripple cardigan there. So they will be linked on the... Matt, what are you doing? They will be linked on the product page as well. I love that someone was just saying, I love yarn with that slightly more older look. I don't know how to explain it. I also sometimes struggle to explain it. The other week, I was trying to explain what I thought was a very nice description of Buena Vista, and I kept referring to it as faded. And then I was told by the chat that that does not make the yarn sound appealing. And it's the same as, like, I know what you mean. I want to say, like, oh, it has patina. I don't know. Patina also is just Latin for rust. Like, but you know, you're like, oh yeah, that like looks so good. But I know what you mean. You and I, we agree.
It has a vintage look.
It has a natural look. It has a rustic look.
Mm. A timeless look.
A timeless look. It's a classic. Highland wool. It is amazing. Claire is asking if we sell pom-poms on our website. So we do have a few sort of these, like the fake fur pom-poms, if that's what you're after. We do have a few of those. They come with like snap buttons that are very, very, very solidly attached to the to its head. So yes, we do have a few. So if you're looking to make a cute little hat, for instance, you can find different colored, and they're all fake fur. So they're all animal-free little pom-poms on our website. Muted is another example. Yeah, but then for me, a muted color, like you can have a very, very sort of deep shade that still at the same time kind of looks a bit old-timey rustic, or it can look muted, but like those to me are two different things. It's really difficult. And then it is my job is supposed to be being good at explaining what colors look like. But, you know, we learn and we get better over time. I do have another yarn for you. We need to kind of get through some more of these yarns because eventually we want to go home.
And we don't have
we don't have forever, sadly.
We are not timeless.
But we are not timeless. We are indeed very much beholden to time. This next yarn is a complete departure from the two wools we had before, but it is also nice and soft. It is also nice and fuzzy, and I just thought it was a nice one to put into the selection today. This is our Baby Snuggle Solid. Baby Snuggle is a very, very lovely chenille yarn. It's a bulky weight, so you're looking at a really nice, slightly thicker thread. Ooh, someone had a question. Could you move up in the chat real quick, Matt? Ruth, very good question. So for a lot of these things, like it kind of depends. So on our YouTube channel, we do actually have quite a library with different stitch tutorials. However, the more complicated and specific a stitch gets, the less likely it is that we already have a video for it. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Sometimes the designers themselves, if they're also content creators, will have videos themselves that they will link in their patterns. So as they write the patterns, whether that's a plus pattern or a free pattern, it will include videos to show you different techniques. So it always depends. So we don't always have a perfect video for any kind of different techniques. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It really depends on, yeah, what's the specific technique? How many patterns do we have that use it? Has someone been able to make a tutorial for it? Or has the designer already made one? So depending on what technique you need, I recommend checking our YouTube channel for sure, but also just doing like a generic search on Google or YouTube. That's what I do whenever I have to explain stitches to people. I actually a lot of times will look up other people's explanations and then try to find the best one out there and then send it to people. So yeah. Back to Baby Snuggle Solid. So as I said, it is a chenille yarn. Chenille yarns are characterized by having a very thin inner thread that has the fibers sticking away from it, forming this super velvety soft surface. So you have all these are little tiny individual fibers that are tied together by one inner strand. If you pull on it like this, you will sometimes end up with some fluff. That is perfectly normal, but especially when worked up, a lot of times products may fluff in the beginning and then very quickly it'll just be super, super smooth and soft and beautiful. This yarn is made from 100% polyester, and you get 131 yards on one of these skeins. I feel like these are new skeins, like relatively recent ones, because they're
very recent, yeah.
Like very nicely held together still. One side effect of doing these live streams, both live shopping and bingo and other streams and other content that gets produced in the studio, regularly means that a lot of these skeins get handled a lot, so they fall apart over time. So I'm always glad when I get to show you kind of what a fresh skein actually kind of looks like. You want to use, and this is a yarn where the recommended hook or needle size really becomes kind of an interesting topic, because so the recommended hook or needle size here is a 6 to 7 millimeters. Depending on what you're making, you will want to size up or down. If you are making an amigurumi, sizing down is always a good idea. I would go for a 5.5, maybe even a 5 millimeter hook for this if you're working it up, because you do want your stitches tight enough that the filling won't stick out. If you're making garments with this, you could go as far up as a 9 or a 10 easily to get a looser structure to your stitches and have more flow. So it really, really depends. The recommendation is a 6 to 7, and that I think is kind of the halfway point between uses. But again, don't let that stop you from finding the right one for you. And Ellie's saying, what email do we use if we have any questions regarding color matching for yarns that are discontinued? Support@hobie.com. Support@hobie.com is where you reach our customer service department, and they are, well, I say they, we are equipped to handle pretty much any question you might have. Matt is going to pop up the colors for Baby Snuggle.
Lovely array.
To show you. It is a very, very nice palette. It has my favorite shade of green right here.
The sage?
It's
what is it?
Yeah, I think it's sage green.
22?
Yes, 22.
Nice.
It is a beautiful. Although I also really love the toucan, the sage color.
Yeah.
To be fair, toucan is my favorite chenille yarn, and this color is quite close, but I think this is nicer. You can machine wash Baby Snuggle at medium temperature, so it's easy to take care of. It is great for amigurumi. That is what I think a lot of people are using chenille yarns for. However, don't let that limit your creativity. You could use this for anything from home decor to blankets to clothing to accessories. There is no rule on what you're allowed to or not allowed to make with this. I actually pulled out this super cute pattern because I wanted to show it to you. This is the panda scarf pattern. It's an intermediate level crochet pattern that's available for free with this cute little scarf with a hood attached, and then you can just make a cute little panda hood out of it. I think it is so nice. And KA is asking to see the purple again. I'm very happy to show the purple right here. This, I think, might be called Orchid. I'm not 100% sure. There you go. And this is color 32 that I'm holding right now. It is called Orchid.
It is.
Yay!
You're like a library.
For some facts.
Yeah.
For random facts. Like, I'll look at this and say, yeah, this one's called Orchid. Don't ask me what any of these other colors are called, because I wouldn't know. I sometimes just know one or two particular shades.
What would you guess that one is called?
Aubergine.
Okay. Purple. Just straight up purple.
This is color 27. You are showing me 33. Oh. It's called Bordeaux.
Makes sense, I suppose. Kind of.
Yeah, it does.
I feel like it's a little bit too purple to be a Bordeaux.
I did not come up with the color names. So this is Baby Snuggle Solid, and I do have one more pattern I want to show you because I've shown it before. I think I showed it when we had Toucan on, because you can pretty much interchange our chenille yarns that we have without problem. So if you like a certain color more, or if a certain color is available in one but not in the other, if you want to combine Baby Snuggle with our Honey Bunny, for instance, that should work fine. In my mind, I always think that Toucan has a slightly different texture, and therefore to me it sticks out when they're used together. But again, on a project like this, for instance, would it really be a problem if, let's say, body and beak were a little bit different from each other? Probably not. This is the Cuddle Goose soft toy. Hello.
We showed it 2 weeks ago, right?
And we showed it
what did she
a
say?
while back.
Did she say loosey-goosey or something like that?
Loosey-goosey, could be.
Something like it.
Could be. This
she
is
went
the
crazy.
Cuddle Goose soft toy, and it is so cute, and it now lives in the studio because I borrowed it so I could show it on the live shopping, and I just never gave it back. I just put it behind me, and it now lives there. This is so sweet. This is a knitted plushie, by the way. So for those of you who are who would maybe love to make a plushie sometimes, but most patterns out there are crochet patterns, and if you're a knitter and you've always looked for a pattern to make a little cuddly toy, then the Cuddle Goose could be the one for you, as could the Wizard Owl. Just putting that out there. Those of you who've watched a long time will know of my love affair with the Wizard Owl. So this was Baby Snuggle Solid. Both of the patterns that I've just shown you are linked on our landing page, and you can also find both of them linked on the Baby Snuggle product page. And the yarn will be 40% off with our code HAPPY40. Thank you, Matt. Matt keeps dropping skeins here. It's all going crazy.
It's a balancing act.
I'm trying to figure out what exactly people are trying to refer to. And I can't, because the chat's has moved on too fast. This next yarn that I have for you is Cascata. I put it in this category because it is nice and soft and fuzzy, and so I thought it works well with the fluffy or very sort of, fluffy, fuzzy chenille yarn. It works nicely with the kind of woolly yarns. Cascata, however, is a cotton and acrylic blend, and it is a yarn made of this white cotton tube that you see there in the middle. And then it has beautiful fibers just blown into it. So you get a very fuzzy surface, but you get a lot of structure because you have the tube in the middle holding it all together. So there, I hope this focuses. Yeah, there you can see it. You can see the white tube in the middle, and you get a very, very soft color sort of flow. It is very short stripes of color or bursts of color, so you get a more sort of flowy color look. Matt, maybe you can show the swatches for it. So short bursts of stripes, or if you're working on a larger piece, kind of shorter bursts of color, rather than super blocky stripes like we got with the horizon, for instance. All of the colors are named for different waterfalls, because cascata is Italian for waterfall. I learned that at some point from hosting this.
And every color is inspired by the color of the water in the waterfall.
Well, yeah.
No,
what do you mean?
No.
Like, I mean, it kind of follows that idea of like if you see a waterfall and like the different colors you see within it.
Oh, I meant like that some of the water was red.
You meant like the water is red.
That'd be cool.
I mean, it's not that, but I mean, yeah, I mean, the general idea of it is it's kind of like the flow of a waterfall. Yeah. Okay. I didn't get what you meant. I was like, I mean, it kind of is.
No, I was also just being silly.
Also, I have not been to the Victoria Falls. Maybe they are bright orange.
Yeah, who knows? or dark brown. I mean, it's called brown.
Brown Falls?
Yeah.
I suppose. I don't even know where they are.
It sounds American, no?
It does, but where?
Maybe southern states. Oh, Brown University, maybe around there.
But Brown University is not spelled with an E at the end.
Oh, no.
As someone is saying, if I would recommend combining cascata with kind feather. Could you grab me a kind feather, Matt?
Yes.
I will. Depending on the time of day, says Sharon. Yeah, if there's a sunset and the water is hitting the waterfall just right. So in terms of using cascata with kind feather, I'm going to show you what the two look like next to each other. So in terms of the weight, you're actually not, like, the difference isn't super great. So cascata is a worsted weight yarn with a recommended needle size of 5 to 6 millimeters. However, I do think that the surface looks very different. So, I mean, I might have chosen a bad color for the cascata. I'm going to show one that's closer to the kind feather in color so that you get a closer. So you can see that this is a much fuzzier yarn. So this is going to have quite the contrast in terms of the texture. If you want to work with that contrast, I do think that I mean, I always say this because I always think like any combination, if it's purposeful, can look really cool. It's just if you want a more seamless sort of blend, these two I would say are too different from each other to achieve that. Brown Fall is a waterfall about Doubtful Sound, which is located in Fiordland National Park, New Zealand.
There you go.
I've been to the Fiordland National Park in New Zealand, but I've only been to Milford Sound. And it's really funny because they're all called sounds, but they are technically speaking fjords, I believe, which is why the region's called Fiordland. But all of the fjords are called sounds, which a sound is a different kind of body of water. I think that's the way it goes. It's been a long time. I was there 13 years ago, so my memory might not be the best anymore. But we went kayaking there. Absolutely stunning. Anyone, if you ever get a chance, go to New Zealand, go kayaking on Milford Sound. Absolutely.
Sounds amazing.
Breathtakingly beautiful. And there were quite a few waterfalls there as well. But now we know. So Brown, named for Brown Falls, New Zealand.
Definitely not Brown University.
Not Brown University. Nope. What is the yarn you were just talking about? So this is cascata. The other one I was showing is kind feather, which we talked about a little bit earlier, but this was cascata. It is quite sort of unique in the way it's made. If you're looking for a solid yarn to combine it with, I think the closest we have in terms of this type of yarn is Portobello. However, Portobello is thinner. So again, you're going to have a bit of a difference in appearance and in stitch definition or size. So yeah, Cynthia's saying, yes, they are fjords. See, I remember something from 13 years ago, which is that they're all named wrong. Cascata, you get quite a lot of yarn in one go, so you end up with 437 yards on one of these cakes, which means that if you're making something like a shawl, one of them is going to get you fairly far, but you're going to probably need two to complete it, but it gets you quite a bit of the ways, also suitable for things like cardigans, suitable for things like sweaters. Due to having the cotton kind of tube, I think that it works up fairly, it works up really nicely. Again, with these kinds of yarns, if you know you crochet very tightly, you might want to up your hook size. One, just to make it easier for yourself to crochet, but also so that if you make a garment, for instance, it becomes quite nice and flowy and not too stiff. Because that is something that, yeah, I think takes a little bit of figuring out with these yarns, is how to work them up with your style of crocheting or knitting without the tube kind of becoming quite stiff. So yeah, that is... Lorraine is asking if she has won anything. Not yet so far, but we've only announced one winner so far. So we are actually coming up on our next giveaway in just a second. So you've come back at the exact right time. We're going to quickly check out some of the projects that you have made with Cascata, because they also showcase the color changes very beautifully. So from tops to a cute little hexagon jacket or granny stitch jacket, to little accessories. There are a lot of really, really, really beautiful ideas and really beautiful items there. Can we maybe show one of these sweaters just so we can, yeah, so we can show a little bit. Tanya made this super cute Monstera jumper, which is a pattern that we have for Cascata. And as you can see, you get kind of these little kind of, they're not even like, it's not even a full stripe side to side. It's more like these short bursts of color that you get there. So here Claudia has made a really lovely sweater as well. And Dawn has made a little gecko. That looks so cute. That was probably made using the brown color. Yes, it was made using the brown color. So you see, you can also use it for things like little plushies and amigurumis. There is no there is no rule that says you're not allowed to use a certain yarn to make a certain thing anyway. So this was Cascata. It is 40% off with our code HAPPY40 for the next 24 hours if you want to check it out. This, I was gonna say, like, this whole pile could be yours, and then I handed it to Matt, which is like, I mean, it's mine. It's yours now, Matt. And Karen is saying hexagon tops are really easy, but I find that the underarm gets bulky. It does. It's I think with hexagon tops, it's always like kind of good to figure out what look you want. I think they kind of work best if you make them a little bit oversized, and then kind of just with a very wide armhole. You will still have a bit of bulk there, but I think if it's a little bit more of an oversized fit, I guess, again, it's about being intentional with it. It isn't really a style that lends itself, I think, to making anything that's going to be really tight here. True. Chris says, how do you win something? This is new to me. So with this next giveaway, I'll actually explain it just now. One thing that's important is to make sure that you are live right now, because for this next one, we're going to read through the chat. So we're going to find another winner now from the chat on Facebook and YouTube. I was trying to remember what the name of the platform is that we're on. And all you need to do is type hashtag HobbyLive in the chat right now for a chance to win. So hashtag HobbyLive for a chance to win, just the way it is written up here. You only have to type it once because it only counts it once per person. So hashtag HobbyLive, and then you're going to end up in the pot for a chance to win a gift card worth $25. Could you hand me that Cascata real quick? Someone asked about the color. It's color 7, and I saw someone else ask about the yardage. That is 437 yards. So there you go. And then we do have 3 more, well, this plus 2 more giveaways. We will do one more from the chat later, so you have 50 seconds to participate on this one, and then in about 20 minutes time we're going to have another one. And finally, one winner will be drawn from everyone who has given this video a little like. So if you haven't already, be sure to like for a chance to win. So hashtag HobbyLive on the chat right now. And while that is going, I'm just going to quickly remind you that on Thursday, it'll be quiz time again. For the first time in months. Matt is back with a quiz time. So on Thursday, 5 p.m. CET, so Thursday, same time as when this stream started, Matt is going to quiz you. You are going to have the chance to win lovely prizes and hang out with him. Next week on Thursday, Jaya and I are going to be back for our Craft and Chat finale of the Suki Slipover saga. And from then on, we're going to once again, I think, go to the bi-weekly schedule, although we have quite a bit of summer vacation coming up in the team as well. So there may be some weeks where we switch it around. We're now going to find a winner from everyone who has typed hashtag HobbyLive in the chat, and the winner is going to walk away with a gift card worth $25 or equivalent in your currency, and it is Carolyn Royer, or Royer. Carolyn, congratulations, you are our second winner of the night. In order to receive your gift card, please write an email to live@hobby.com. Carolyn Royer, please email live@hobby.com so that Matthias can send you your gift card. Matt went through the inbox earlier, so pretty much everyone who wrote last week has gotten their codes now. Yes. If you haven't heard, maybe check your spam. If you won in a previous episode and you haven't received anything, double check that it's not in your spam filter. But yes. Congrats, Carolyn, and be sure to reach out to redeem your prize. We have a few more yarns coming up, so this little next segment is kind of cotton and cotton adjacent yarns. We now have ribbon, which is the yarn I talked about earlier when we were talking about tips for crocheting with it and figuring out what hook or needle works well with it. It is a kind of bulky weight yarn. Ribbon is made out of a cotton tube that's been flattened. I always liken it to Converse shoelaces because they remind me of that. You will see why, I think. It is made from 100% cotton. This is a knitted tube that then just gets squished flat, but of course, depending on how you work it up, it will kind of move itself into whichever shape you need it to be. This is a bulky yarn, super well suited for any sturdy kinds of projects that you might want to be making. So anything like a basket or a bag. Wow, I was trying to say blanket and bag at the same time, and then my brain wasn't sure which one we were going for. I was going for basket and bag. You could also make something like a blanket, although I do think it will get quite heavy. But you could make things like rugs. You can make things like nice decor items. You could make something like a pot holder or a trivet out of it. So it is 100% cotton, which means also, yeah, great for something like a pot holder because you don't have to worry about it melting. It is easy to take care of. You can machine wash it, and you get 136 yards of this yarn on one. Here is the topic that I already broached a little bit earlier. The recommended needle size that our testers used to get the gauge that is written on it is a 10 millimeter. However, I personally have been working this up with an 8 millimeter hook, and that's worked well for me, even though I crochet quite tightly. So it really depends on what is your desired result. Are you looking to make something like a basket that's going to stand up? Then you are going to want to downsize your hook quite a lot to make sure that you get these really tight stitches, and so you get a really sturdy result. Are you looking to make something that's a little bit more flowy? Do you want to make a little children's playmat for the garden, for instance? Then you can easily size up your hook, because then having it a little bit more flowy, a little bit more malleable is exactly the desired result. You could even make things like a bucket hat out of this, or a little other accessory. You could probably also use it for clothing. I don't think I would necessarily gravitate towards this yarn for it. I would be more likely to use this for things like a laptop sleeve or a little sort of cover for a Kindle or a tablet. Maybe make something like a little bath mat out of this. And then someone asked, like, when using this yarn, are you supposed to keep it flat? I would like to see someone achieve that. That is going to be very difficult. So as you're working with this, that's also what I meant earlier when I said it is going to look a little bit rustic. And that's just because as you work with it, you can kind of see, we used to have swatches for it, but I don't think we have them anymore. We're in the process of moving the studio. yeah, I don't know if I've already said that. We're in the process of moving stuff around, so in the next few weeks it might all be a bit like the background might not be quite figured out yet and stuff, because we're going through some changes there. And there you go. So as you can see, keeping it flat is going to be quite the challenge. So you are going to more likely see that it kind of loops up and about as you work with it. Kim is asking why the discount code doesn't work on the Norwegian store. As I explained earlier, we're in the process of migrating our stores, and we managed to set it up so that it works for countries that use the euro. But if you are already in a store that has migrated but we're not using the but are not using the euro, then sadly the code doesn't work for you this week. We will work on a solution to make sure it works for everyone. It's just that right now, sadly, there are limitations to what we can do. A lot of people are saying like it is impossible to keep it flat. Like I said, I would love to see someone achieve it. I don't want to say it's impossible. Have I ever managed to do it? Absolutely not. No. I also haven't really tried it. I'll be very honest. I've just kind of I've embraced the texture that you get with this kind of yarn. And Cynthia saying, my general answer to this is just because you can, it doesn't necessarily mean that you should. I mean, again, it really depends on what your desired outcome is. So yeah. Sophie says it works in Sweden. That's because Sweden hasn't migrated yet. Sweden is still on the main website, on the old system.
Swedish jävla. Svedjävla. Svensk jävla.
Matt. First going against Mark Zuckerberg. Now Matt is trying to piss off the Swedes. Where is this gonna end? This boy's out of control. Binta is saying, I made a duffel bag with it. It absolutely won't stay flat. Cynthia saying, oh no, don't make a ridiculously unachievable challenge that I will obsess over. Sorry, it wasn't my question, but I think it's an understandable question because when you see it as it comes on the skein, you are kind of, I think when you start working with it and realize that it just naturally will kind of fold in on itself and twist, you will naturally kind of wonder, oh, is that how it is supposed to look, or was it supposed to look different? And again, your hook and needle size is going to play a role in how tight your stitches get, how much of this is going to kind of like be loose, or how tight it's going to be kind of held together, and that is going to give you very different textures. This is a cool yarn to experiment with as well, in my opinion. And this next pattern is one that I chose specifically for that, because it's also a really nice scrap yarn project. This is the Gaia bag, which is a beginner-friendly crochet pattern. And as you can see, it uses 2 strands held at the same time to achieve this kind of look. And of course here, it's kind of deliberately messy, which I love because I'm a big fan of those kinds of projects. But it is, of course, something that you could genuinely just use as a way to get rid of your scraps. When you want to, and you can of course make this in a solid color instead of changing colors around to get the multicolored look. But the Gaia bag pattern is available for free for a cute little accessory that you can take with you throughout the summer. If you want something that uses the color and is more blocky in its stripes, you could use this pattern for the June plant basket. I actually think this is a really nice idea for some of the ribbon I still have at home, because I was wondering what to make with it, because I've made a tablet cover and a laptop sleeve and I still have about 2 skeins, so I could probably make a few of these, and I think they would make really cute gifts, especially if you're gifting a plant. You could just gift it with the little basket already on it. That's the June plant basket, which is a beginner-friendly crochet pattern, and that one is also available for free. We do also have this pattern picked out for you. This is the drumstick cushion pattern, which is a beginner-friendly knit pattern. It is a cool design, I think, especially because if you show the back, it doesn't need a zipper or a button worked in. It just works with the kind of overlapping folding mechanism at the back. So it is truly beginner-friendly in that you just knit it as it goes, and then you just fold in essentially the main pillow. So don't have to worry about sewing in your zipper or sewing in any kind of fastening mechanism. You just have the yarn and that's all you need. So that was the drumstick cushion. All of these patterns are linked on our landing page, and all of those are linked underneath the ribbon yarn. So if you just pull up ribbon on the main page, you can find it there. And ribbon will be 40% off with our code HAPPY40 until tomorrow 5 p.m. CT. So until tomorrow evening, you will be able to use the code for ribbon, unless you're shopping from one of the countries where it's currently unavailable. I'm very sorry about that. We tried to make sure that as many people as possible could use the code, but yeah. By the end of summer, it should all be taken care of and should all be easy peasy. I say that now. Let's see. This next yarn we've had, I think, on here once or twice. I just don't remember if I've shown it before, because I might have been on holiday the last time we did. It's a relatively new one, and it's one of the more summery yarns in today's selection. This next yarn is called, and I'm just now realizing that I did not check how to pronounce this. It's either pronounced Fio or Fio. How would you pronounce it?
Fio.
Fio, yeah. Right? Because I assume it's from Fiore. Like, that's kind of what I think the name is from. So I'm going to call it Fio now. It is spelled F-I-O for those of you who are wondering. And there you can see it, and it has a little flower. So that's why I assume that it's from Fiore. So I'm going to go with Fio. This one matches my nail polish, unintentionally. It is a fingering or sock weight yarn. So for those of you who've waited patiently all night for a thinner yarn weight, this one is for you. It is a 70% cotton, 30% polyester blend. It's made from recycled cotton. You get these super cute multicolored strands. So the strand throughout is multicolor. All the little plies, each of them is its own color. So you get a very, very lovely, bright color kind of print almost. Worked up, it looks like so. It's almost a little bit marbled, I would say, or a little bit sort of like watercolor. Here's the skein. So you can see from skein to swatch.
It's like wavy.
Yeah, I mean, that's also due to the
cool.
To the stitch. Like if you look at the front of the stitches, it's a little bit, but I think it almost gets this kind of like, yeah, like kind of aquarelle effect almost a little bit. I did some ceramics painting yesterday, and so that is what this reminds me of. I have a second swatch here for the green as well to show you. So there you
go. Gotta show the green.
Gotta show the green.
Yeah.
Of course. That's why we're here. How many green yarns can Louisa show in one show? You get 164 yards on one of these skeins, and like I said, it's a fingering or sock weight, so you get a really nice thin strand here. Recommended hook or needle size is a 3mm to 4mm, so very, very nice. Do you have the sand in the studio to show? Do we, Matt?
I mean, we don't have a beach around. I can look for it.
Do you know which color it is?
I think it's number 3, right? No?
That's what Sandy Beach is number 1.
Okay. Very white for sand.
No, because I have color 2 here, so I briefly thought if color 2 is sand, then we would, but
I'll look for it.
You can check. Matt's gonna check. I'm gonna show you the colors that we do have here, which is color 5, which is this really nice berry and purple combo. Color 2, which is this a little bit more muted, colorful combination. Again, this is like a little bit, like this is where I would say these colors are a little bit muted. And we do have the Sandy Beach here as well, which is just very neutral tone. So you have white and grays here. There you go. So these are the colors that we have here. Fio is machine washable at low to medium temperature, so easy to take care of, which I think is lovely. And it is suitable for any kind of summer items you would want to make. Whether you want to make little scarves, a little top, whether you want to make cute I think you could probably maybe even make socks out of this, because it does have although the polyester is probably not, I'm not 100% sure if this, because it's not, because like I would say if it had like elastin or polyamide, I would say it's probably sockable.
Sockable.
That's a word I just made up. Sockable, as in able to be turned into socks. But it does say it has stretch, so could work for that. Shall we see what people have made?
Yeah.
Maybe if I see socks, then I'll know. But here you have some examples of lovely projects from the user gallery. Olena made this summer top, which looks really lovely, and I think that might be the color 1 that she used for it. I would say
it must be.
Here we have Jennifer, who has made a cute V-neck top as well. Very nice. I think that is using the color I showed you, the number 5. Here Eleonora has made a super lovely little bag, so that works as well.
So does it like feel soft to the touch? Like how, like what's the feel?
So it does have that kind of cottony feel to it. So definitely, I would say rougher than mercerized cotton, softer than wool. It's hard to explain, but it is it's really nice to the touch. Like it has, I think you can tell that it's recycled cotton, so it has a slightly rougher surface than maybe 100% cotton yarn would have.
It feels a little bit like some linen yarns we've had. Like I
yeah,
think it has a similar...
It could. Yeah, you're right, actually. And I think the difference is also what I find really interesting. If you touch it like this, it feels a bit different than if you touch it like here. So I think that might also, again, you're right. So yeah, a little bit, not quite like a linen yarn. So it's not, if you think of like Friends cotton linen, I would say this is softer. But it has that kind of, yeah, recycled cotton, slightly rougher surface to it. But at the same time, if you stroke it like this, it's really soft. I really like it. This is Fio, 164 yards, fingering sock weight, so a nice thin yarn for all you summer thin yarn lovers, and a nice little bright spot of color for your summer projects. And then we have one more cotton yarn.
Don't you mean?
Oh,
you were thinking about something.
I was thinking about the one on top before it, but it's completely fine.
Completely.
Senita is saying, I'm sorry I'm late. Is it just cotton or a mixture? So Fio that I just showed you is a 70-30 blend. So it's 70% recycled cotton. Oh, I'm holding it up to the close-up cam, but I forgot to switch to close-up cam. It is 70% recycled cotton and 30% polyester. So it does have a polyester component to it. So it's not 100% cotton, which I think is also where the surface kind of comes in. Thank you, Matt. The next or last, well, not the last yarn, but this is the next cotton yarn I have for you, which is the Friends 8-4 print. So it's Friends Cotton 8-4 print. I actually have 8-8 here, but the colors are the same, so I'm going to show you. Bear in mind what I'm showing you is going to be about twice as thick as the actual yarn. So what you get is these beautiful print cotton yarns. Matt is checking if we have the 8-4 here as well. So normally this is, like I said, what I'm showing you right now is the 8-ply cotton. The discount is for the 4-ply cotton. So Matt is trying to find that for a sec. This is Friends Cotton Print, which is, as the name suggests, a print yarn. Oh, thank you, Matt. Matt brought me some 8-4. So this is the yarn that we have for you. It's a nice 4-ply cotton. It's a fingering or sock weight yarn. So similar to the Fio beforehand, I can actually show them next to each other if you want to have a side-by-side comparison of them. So you can see that the colors, the Fio has one thread made up of 4 plies that are each a different color, so the color is kind of marbled throughout the entire skein, whereas with the Friends Cotton Print 8-4, what you get is one bit of color, next bit of color, next bit of color. So as you work it up, you're going to get these sort of splotches, this print of color instead. So similar but different. This is a 100% cotton yarn.
Suckable though.
This one I would say is not suckable.
It's not. It's not. Okay, good.
I love that yarn.
We need to know if every single yarn
I'm gonna rate every single yarn on a scale of I mean, Bungee Mini is the least amount of sockable you could be, I think, as a yarn.
Be brave. Try.
And then someone is saying ribbon might also not be sockable.
No.
True. Yeah, we have a few yarns that I don't think are sockable. This one, if you don't need your socks to stay up, like if you're just making them for like a baby that can't walk yet, and is just crawling around, then I think you could actually probably make little slippers or something out of this. But yeah, there is no elastic component to this. It is 100% cotton, so it is going to sort of lose its shape, and then just your socks are going to keep falling down, and it's going to be frustrating. And as you walk on them, you're going to walk through the cotton eventually. So
you could make a little belt for your sock.
I mean, that's how they used to do it. You'd attach it to your garter, or before that even just tie it.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Now people are discussing what would be the least sockable yarn that we have today. Yeah, I think Bungee Mini is probably the least sockable. I think it's worse than ribbon. I'll explain why in a minute. But before, I'll just quickly show you a little bit more. So each of these Friends Cotton 84 print yarns is made in Friends colors. So a lot of these individual colors are part of the Friends palette. Not always all of them, but there is a list attached to the product where you can actually see which of the prints has which individual Friends colors in it, and vice versa. So you can mix and match these if you just want to add a little effect to your solid colored projects, for instance. Or you can use them on their own. I've actually linked quite a few really nice little patterns that you could make with this, but we can also check the user gallery. Maybe let's see there what people have made, because I think there's a lot of really cute projects like these little octopods. We literally discussed this last week. Octopuses.
That was apparently the grammatic English way to do it.
Which makes sense because it's octopus. Octopuses.
Yeah.
Makes the most sense, actually. So Alison made these little octopuses for babies who are in the NICU. I've actually read about this because the tentacles are kind of curled, right? And apparently it's especially if a child is born prematurely, it like reminds them, I guess, of the umbilical cord or something, and so it gives them something to hold on to, because one problem is apparently that babies, if they're attached to tubes, they will start pulling on those tubes and grabbing those tubes just kind of unconsciously, because I mean they're babies, they don't know what they're doing. But apparently that's why a lot of charities crochet these little octopus plushies that have these curled tentacles, so that gives them something to hold on to, which I think is
that's really cool,
and like just one fascinating fact, but also I think a really, really cute way to help out the smallest and literally smallest and most vulnerable in the community. So we do have one more super cute little plushie. Marcy made a tiny little Freya, the one-eyed kitty. That is so cute. And how lucky that there was a color that perfectly matched little Freya. And Deborah made this mosaic bag, which also looks absolutely amazing. And again, this yarn, perfect cat color. This is color 15. Perfect cat color. If you're looking for something to make a little cat, Friends Cotton 84 print. And Deborah also made these giant snails. They look amazing. Incredible. They look so detailed. This is so cool. I have a friend who would be terrified. I have a friend who is terrified of snails and slugs to the point where she will not go into the garden in the evenings, because that's when they come out. And she's like, nope. Like she will like sprint through the garden if she has to, because she's for some reason terrified of snails and slugs.
Especially if you don't have shoes on, and then you risk stepping on them. Ooh.
Yeah, I also don't think it's great, but I'm not scared.
Yeah,
also,
no, yeah.
Those really nice big slugs you would see, snails you would see coming from so far away, you would have time to avoid them.
Yeah, with the shell. Yeah.
Now people are saying that octopi would also be acceptable. Octopus is octopi. Both make sense in my head. This is Friends Cotton 84 print. It is 40% off with our code HAPPY40. It's available in 23 different colors, and most of the individual colors are also part of our Friends palette, so you can link them up with each other if you want for a perfect color match, or you can use them on their own. And as we've seen, they are perfect if you want to make little kitty patterns of any kind, and also give any of your projects a little bit of that kind of wild mix of colors. Again, no ends to weave in. Well, I mean, I guess unless you reach the end of a skein, but in order to get many colors in one with minimal ends to weave in, there you go. Oh, I actually have a swatch here. Could have shown you that as well. So again, when I say very short bursts of color, this is kind of what I mean. There you go. The next yarn I've got is another super chunkalicious one. As I said, I think the least sockable yarn out of all of our yarns today.
Yeah.
I'd say any other yarn, even ribbon, can probably be sort of like bent into submission in order to be at least somewhat sockable. I think this one is going to be the toughest one. This is Bungee Mini. Bungee Mini is made from a cotton tube that is filled with polyester fibers. So you get this super chunkalicious yarn, and on the inside it'll look like this. So you have these polyester strands. The yarn has a recommended hook or needle size of 12 to 15 millimeters. Again, I think that is on the higher end. I have worked this up in crochet with a size 10 hook. That's been kind of my sweet spot for things like bags and baskets. Again, with a bag or a basket, you do want to make your stitches fairly tight so that they have a lot of structure, so that they stand, because you don't want your basket to just fall in on itself. Or if you have a bag, you don't want it to be too floppy. You want it to have a little bit more sturdy structure to it. So that's good to keep in mind. Again, I would say if you want to make something like a mat, for instance, or a little rug for your bathroom, for instance, then I'd say looking at a 12 to 15 is probably the way to go. You get 65 yards on one of these skeins, and what you'll see here is that because the filling is white on the darker colors, it will kind of push through a little bit. So the lighter the color, the less of that you're going to see, simply because the color kind of hides it more. But if you're looking at, for instance, the dark gray here, you will see occasionally there will be that white filling kind of pushing through, kind of toning down the color a little bit. So it doesn't have the brightest color intensity. We have a small, I would say quite small color palette for this yarn. A lot of more muted colors as well, and neutrals. So great for interior things that you just don't want to, like, that you want to blend in a little bit. And I guess two of the pictures are currently, well,
what color?
Well, Matt can pull it up like this. Karen is asking, do you burn the ends to keep that knotted? So I do.
Wait, you burn what?
I do, yeah.
You burn yarn?
I've talked about this so many times until someone pointed out a better way. So what I used to do is I would just full on burn the ends until it's like burned a little bit in there. I'd be very careful. And then I would just sew one stitch through the cotton tube right here to hold it together. So I would just kind of secure my ends like this. And I was always like, yeah, that's a great hack. Like, you just set this on fire until it's like melted down, then you kind of squish it together, sew one stitch, and boom. And then someone pointed out to me that what you can also do is you just hold this, you pull this back, you cut this off, you pull it back over, and you sew your stitch. There is no need to set this on fire. Do I still do it? Yes, in the privacy of my own home, where I know the sprinklers aren't going to go off and I'm not going to get in trouble with my boss. In the studio, no. It is...
Look, it's a cat.
It is a really nice yarn to make any kinds of cool structural projects as well. We do have quite a few patterns for these little cat houses. This one is the Space Cat house. One thing that's really important, again, with these cat houses, because you do want them to stand up as much as possible, to do that, I highly recommend making your stitches super tight. You can also twist them so that you have tighter single crochets in order to give it a little bit more structure. I do think that depending on how often your cat uses it, you might need to put in some kind of support system. I think the pattern doesn't call for it, but I do think that over time it might just fall down a little bit unless you're very good at working super, super, super tightly. One thing I loved about this yarn, this is actually the yarn that I learned how to crochet with, is that because the tube protects the inner filling the way it does here, this yarn isn't really going to split as you work it up. So it's really nice if one of your key frustrations in the beginning, especially when you're working out your tension, etc., is that you kind of accidentally split your thread and then just have little loose fibers hanging around everywhere. That can't happen with this one, which is why I really, really enjoyed learning how to crochet with it. Another thing is that because of the way that the yarn is made, your stitch definition is just very, very clear. So it's also really cool because you can really, really see your stitches. You can really see each of the posts of your stitch. You can see very clearly defined every single part of it, which again, when you're learning, makes it quite nice. And I still sometimes use this yarn if I'm learning a new stitch. I will sometimes just make a little swatch because I still have quite a lot of it at home. So it's a really cool yarn, I think, for that as well, to make sort of, yeah, little, like to teach yourself new stitches and stuff. On the other hand, do bear in mind that a 10mm hook or bigger can be quite cumbersome to use if you're not used to working with it. But that's just my little recommendation, or one of the reasons that I really like this yarn, in addition to being able to make cool baskets with it, which you can then gift people. And literally within a year of me learning how to crochet, every single member of my family at least had one of these in there. Like, not one of these, but a basket made by me in this yarn in their house. This was Bungee Mini. That could have gone so wrong because that just dropped so close to where the Ethernet cable is. If that had just pulled the cable, your screen would have just gone dark.
I'm pretty sure it's like fastened by a lock.
Yeah, but if it just hits it at the exact angle where it just like... We are living dangerously here today, people. We are living dangerously. We do have a few more yarns coming up.
But actually, first and foremost, we have a giveaway. And Louise, you have to just say stop right now.
Okay, Matt is now looking for a giveaway winner. Okay.
Amongst the likes, by the way.
Yes. Keep going, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'm picturing myself at a restaurant where they come with the Parmesan, and I just have them grate and grate and grate and grate and grate.
Okay.
Until my plate is more Parmesan than dish.
Yeah.
Just to assert dominance.
Yeah.
Just to see what will happen. Keep scrolling.
Yeah.
Don't stop scrolling.
No, we're going.
Stop. Our third winner of the night, congratulations, is Tracy Surly. Tracy Surly, presumably. Congratulations, you are our third winner, picked from all the people who gave this video a little thumbs up. Thank you so much for that, Tracy Surly. It's Surly, but spelled with a SZ at the beginning. Congratulations, Tracy. You are our third winner of the night. In order to get your gift card worth 25 coins, please email the lovely Matthias at live@hobie.com and he will send you a gift card. Someone saying if I would like, Lexi saying if I would like some meal with my cheese. My father used to genuinely kind of get upset watching me make a plate whenever we had sort of spaghetti with any kind of sauce, because I would truly go drop of spaghetti, good amount of sauce, and then I would cover it in cheese until you couldn't see what it was anymore. And then I would eat it. And then I would get myself a second serving and a third serving. And then, oh no. Don't be sick, man.
My throat is being scratchy.
Oh no. But yeah, so much for that. But congratulations to Tracy. And do remember we have one final giveaway coming up. Before that, we have 3 more yarns though. The last 3 yarns of the night, which you can get at our live shopping discount 40% off with code HAPPY40. Thank you, Matt. This last batch is the cakes. We're now getting cakey. The first cake yarn that I have to offer you is, oh, Lexi's saying spaghetti bolognese, absolutely covered in cheese. I am getting hungry listening to you now. I would love some spaghetti bolognese right about now. That's the only way to eat it, says Melissa. As I've gotten older, become partial to also actually really enjoying everything else. But as a kid, I was eating cheese with sauce and a little bit of pasta. Now it's a bit more balanced. Okay, so the first cake I have for you is our lovely Friends Wheel. And Friends Wheel is, there we go, a blend of 55% cotton and 45% acrylic. So it is a cotton blend. You can see it is twisted up nicely and gives you a lovely sport weight yarn to work with. Recommended hook or needle size is a 3 to 3.5 millimeter for a needle, 4.5 millimeter for hooks. And the color I'm showing you here is kind of this beautiful, like a toffee color. If you're more into brighter colors, we've got those here as well. This is part of our Friends line. So the same as the Friends Extra Fine Merino that I showed you at the beginning and the Friends cotton print that we have for you today. These colors are going to go together like Parmesan and spaghetti bolognese because our Friends line is made so that the same color number is going to give you the same color, meaning that if, for instance, this color 26, you are ever trying to match with another yarn, so let's say you've made yourself a top in this and then you want to make a cardigan out of a wool that still has the same color somewhere in it, just match up the numbers and you'll get as close a color match as is possible between different materials. You can machine wash this at medium temperature, so it's easy to take care of, and it is a lovely blend, perfectly suited for anything from shawls to clothing, from tops to t-shirts to light blouses. It is made to drape very, very nicely and give you a really lovely soft feel. The acrylic kind of helps to make sure that it's very nice and flowy and yeah, doesn't get stiff at all. We do have this pattern, which is a crochet pattern, the Ainsa or Ainsa bandana. And what I actually find really cool about this is that this pattern combines our Friends Extra Fine Merino that I showed you earlier with the Friends Wheel. So you have the Extra Fine Merino, which gets used for the main part of the bandana, and then you have the little frill around the edge, so the little scalloped edge that is then made in the Friends Wheel to give that a little bit of more definition and a little bit of a different look and feel and kind of set it apart, if not in color, then in texture. So I thought that was a really cool way to show you how these two yarns look used up together. And again, I'm always a big fan of, I would say, unconventional combinations in yarn, or just trying out different combinations and seeing what works. That's why I said earlier with the cascata and the kind feather, if you're intentional with it, you can definitely match those up with each other, because it's just a really fun way to play with things like colors, textures, and different yarn weights in the same project. Matt is showing you the full color palette that we have for Friends Wheel, so you can see all of the colors. The little aqua turquoise that I've been holding here is color 94 of the Friends Wheel, so 94 is coming up right there as well. It's this very nice, yeah, I would say this looks kind of like aqua. What is it called? Turquoise. It's just called turquoise, which, to be fair, it does what it says on the label. On one Friends Wheel, you will get 437 yards of material. So 2 of these is enough for a nice shawl, for instance, or gets you at least quite a bit of the way there. It is very nice and soft, easy to take care of, and a really versatile yarn. We could also maybe check the user gallery real quick to give it a little bit of an idea. what other people have made from this yarn, and you can see from decorations to different clothing items to a really cool looking unicorn. Maybe we can pull that up for a second. Amanda has made a really, really cool unicorn. That looks awesome. It's actually using quite a few different colors and different yarns. Amanda has listed what she is using. Shiloh's asking, are we still live? I came super late. So if you've just typed this and you've just heard me say it, then you are watching this live as it is happening. And Bear Crafts has apparently ordered one in each color. That is amazing. Oh, those look so cool because of the shape of the cake. Like, imagine those just like as a wall decoration, but just one of each color. Like, I wouldn't even use those up. I would just kind of arrange them like this and just hang them somewhere because it looks really, really cool. Danielle is saying, does the hobby app have a tool where you can save yarns that were used for specific projects, and you can kind of keep track of your stash? That's a really cool question. So I don't think anything like that is live yet. I do know that we have people working on some really cool features for the app that are going to come in the future. I don't know how soon that will be. I do know that there are some really cool things in the works to make a lot of cool features for our app specifically. I just don't know exactly when, and I don't know exactly what those features are going to look like. But I know there is some really cool stuff in the works at some point. What was I going to say? I forgot. I think that was Friends Wheel. It is 40% off with our code HAPPY40 for a super lovely, soft and colorful crafting experience. Helena is saying, Friends Wheel, the best yarn ever. Double it, triple it, even quadruple it if you want a thick garment. It is a super nice, versatile yarn. I think it's one of those yarns that if you're making clothing and you want a lot of selection with the colors, you want something that's washable, you want something that's lightweight, that's not going to get stiff and kind of falls very nicely, it is a great choice. So that was Friends Wheel. And we're keeping up with the cakes. So the next yarn is also going to be a cake, and this one is a 100% cotton yarn.
And funnily enough, earlier today, someone actually said they would like to see a solid version
of Fruta.
Of Fruta.
Yeah, that would be nice. We don't have one as of yet, but that is something that we've passed along to our products department because I've seen it in the chat quite a lot, and also, frankly, it would be nice to have just for us as well. Fruta is a 100% cotton yarn, and it is made from a Pima cotton, so a very, very, very nice, high quality, very soft cotton. It is quite thick. As you can see, it is a worsted weight cotton yarn and somehow manages to still remain very, very nice and soft when worked up. Of course, again, if you go down in your hook size or needle size, you will get tighter stitches. You will be able to make this quite structural. So you can use it for things like bags, but at the same time, despite being a worsted weight, it still works really nicely also for clothing. It works nicely for shawls. So very, very lovely soft cotton yarn. The recommended hook or needle size is a 4 to 5 millimeter, and you get 229 yards on one of these. The color changes are relatively small. It's a little bit longer than with the Friends Cotton print that I showed you, and a little bit different because it has a little bit more of a wild mix of colors. So with the Friends Cotton print, you kind of get like blocks, and here you sometimes just get a wild whirlwind of color. I actually love the Fruta color palette. There's a lot of, it looks very fresh. It looks very sort of spring. It gives me like spring and summer vibes. And I just think it looks absolutely amazing. And it is so nice and soft. I have some skeins at home that I'm like turning into scarves. This one, and I think I have this one as well. Although mine looks a bit more turquoisey and less purplish. I should start saying color numbers again. This is the color 13. This one is color 1. And what do we have here? This is color 15. So we do have these very lovely fresh colors. Rivki is saying, yay, I love this yarn. I just finished a sweater for my daughter and uploaded it. And Rivki, we can see your sweater. It is right there. It looks so good. I love that. I love how the colors look when used like vertically. I think it's a really, really cool style. Very, very nice. Rivki, it looks amazing. And she looks very happy with it. I hope she wears it a lot. We do recommend that you wash this yarn on cold. You can machine wash this. I would always recommend, especially with cotton yarns, using a garment bag when you're washing them in the machine, just to make sure that it doesn't stretch too much over time and just stays very, very nice. And Rivki says that her daughter is thrilled with her sweater. I would be too. If you had made me that sweater, I would probably wear it every single day. It looks so, so nice. So Rivki, thank you for sharing. Wow. It's time I wrap this up slowly, because I think my ability to speak is just slowly leaving me. Fruta, I wish I had more time to talk about, because it is so nice and soft and just so, so, so gorgeous. We do have some patterns for it. You could make things like market bags out of this if you want to do that. You can of course use it for clothing. You can make it for you can use it for shawls. So we do have a few patterns there that you can check out. And of course, many of you have used this yarn before, so there are a lot of really beautiful inspirational pieces in the user gallery as well. This is Fruta, our second to last yarn of the night, 40% off with our code HAPPY40. And MC is asking if Fruta is soft. So out of all of our cottons, I would say Fruta is near the top for softness. I would say it feels, it doesn't have the sort of same surface that a mercerized cotton has. As you can see, it's a little more dull in color, so it doesn't have the shine or the sheen that a mercerized cotton has, but instead it just has a really beautiful, super, super, super soft surface. I would say this is probably one of our softest cottons. The Peek-a-Pow yarn actually kind of has a similar feel to it, I would say, although I think this is still a little bit softer than that. But yeah, so it is a super, super soft cotton. And it's nice. When we first launched, I was really excited just because it is a bigger yarn weight, so as a worsted weight yarn, someone like me who likes working with the sort of medium to big hook sizes, it's nice to have a cotton that's kind of for me. Which is a medium good segue into our last yarn of the night, because that is our Sultan Deluxe Shine. And Sultan Deluxe Shine is a fingering or sock weight yarn. So this is a 4-ply cotton yarn, and just a much thinner quality, which still lovely to use. Great for things like shawls, for instance. That's what the primary use of this yarn is, I think. Although again, you can use this to make beautiful tops or wraps or little boleros as well. But yeah, for someone like me, it is on the thinner side, so you are looking at a smaller hook size with a 3mm to 4mm. Sultan does have the easy start tab, so you can find the center pull very easily, except on this particular one that I just grabbed. There we are. So you have your little easy start tab in the middle to help you find the center pull super quickly. And Sultan has a beautiful gradient. So unlike Horizon, which we talked about earlier, unlike Fruta, Fruta is a little bit all over the place. Horizon has very clearly defined colors, and Sultan Deluxe Shine starts on a solid, moves to a solid, and in between, one ply changes color at a time, so you get a beautiful, beautiful gradient where one color slowly fades into the other. Adding to that, with this yarn, you get this little pop of glitter. So each of the skeins comes with a polyester glitter strand that gives it its name, Shine. We do also have Sultan Deluxe without the shine. Today, Happy 40 applies to the shine version, so the sparkly one. You can see that the color of the glitter thread always depends on what the main color of the yarn is. So for different yarns, it's a different color of glitter, always made to match beautifully and give a beautiful effect together. Yulia saying, I love the easy start tabs. They are so genius. I do too. I'm very glad that a lot of our yarns have them, especially with the cakes. I think having to root around in the center and trying to find the center pull is a little bit annoying. So I'm also very glad that we have the Easy Start tabs. You can use this yarn obviously for a lot of beautiful things like shawls and scarves and shirts. We do have this beautiful pattern, for instance. It's a beginner-friendly crochet pattern. This is the Rhoda shawl, which I think looks really cute with that kind of X design on the back. It's a beginner-friendly pattern available for free that you could download. The example you see here is actually just made with a regular Salted Deluxe, but now imagine adding a little bit of pop of shine with a little bit of glitter as well. And Donna's saying that's Imperial Purple, my all-time favorite. I understand why, because it is stunning. So you start either on the inside with a bright yellow. This, again, looks like in a fairy tale or movie, the beautiful, beautiful like night sky, and then like a bright sun that is just setting behind.
Very cool, yeah.
It's very nice. It looks, or like a lantern that's like being carried through a dark purple night.
Yeah.
It is very nice. I understand why. And Shiloh is saying, I'm so bummed I missed the crafting acrylic because I was the one who was asking about it. Shiloh! You can go and watch this from the beginning once we're done, and we will wrap up in just a few minutes. So if you want, you can watch the first part of it. I did show the crafting acrylic in the very beginning. I gave some close-ups of it as well, so and talked a little bit about it. It's a really nice, I think very nice and soft quality, and just great for the crafter who wants a larger amount as well. Someone's asking if you can feel the glitter strand when using this yarn. It depends, I think, a little bit on your tension. So with a lot of these yarns, the idea is that as you work it up, essentially the glitter strand almost sinks into what you're working with. And as you can see here, it is very, very, very thin and delicate for this particular yarn. So the idea is that it sinks into it to the point where you can't feel it. So it also doesn't act as a potential like irritation on your skin. Lala Blue is asking, what's the difference between Sultan Deluxe and Twister Glitter? So Twister Glitter is a 55-45 acrylic cotton blend with a glitter strand, and then Sultan Deluxe is made from 100% cotton with the glitter strand. So it's just a matter of material. Both of them have the same yardage. You get 1,093 yards, so that's 1 kilometer, 1,000 meters of yarn. Twister Glitter is, I think, a sport weight, so it is just slightly thicker, but other than that, they are quite similar to each other. So if you find a pattern that's written for one of them, you could quite easily exchange those for each other because they have the same yardage. They are very, very similar in thickness. At the end of the day, it's a matter of which colors do you like better, do you have a preference in terms of the material as well, and so on. Sultan, like I said, 1,093 yards, machine washable at low to medium temperature, and great yarn for anyone looking to make nice big shawls, etc. Anyone who loves a gradient but doesn't love weaving in ends. What more could you want? And it comes with a little bit of shimmer as well. That was Sultan Deluxe Shine, our final yarn of the night. That means we have one final giveaway coming right up. And once again, we will be looking at the chat. And I'm asking you once again to put hashtag HobieLive into the chat. So hashtag HobieLive in the chat, as it is written above me right here, for a chance to win a gift card worth 25 coins, 25 monies, whichever your currency is. And oh, and Shiloh was very much excited and has ordered some. I hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to hearing from you, especially with the new yarns. It's always cool to get feedback as well. Emily's asking, Sultan is untwisted. Is twisted like that too? So Sultan is an untwisted cake. However, Sultan Deluxe is twisted. So as you can see here, Sultan Deluxe is twisted. It's just Sultan, the regular Sultan, that isn't. So those are two different yarns. And Twister is like Sultan, also spun, so it is twisted.
Sorry, Louisa, for popular demand, I suppose.
Giveaway song?
giveaway song. We are playing
Hit
it
it,
now.
Jaya.
It's a giveaway. It's a giveaway. It's a giveaway time. It's a giveaway time. It's a giveaway.
You know what's very funny?
What?
Is that I've heard the giveaway song once before. I don't know 100% how it goes, which means that I have no idea what kind of like rhythm I'm supposed to be dancing to. So I'm just
Actually, same. I kind of forgot.
kind of making it up.
Yeah.
You've got 2 seconds left to put hashtag Hobie Live in the chat if you want to participate on our final giveaway of the night. And we are now finding our final winner. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed. All 14 yarns that are on our landing page will be available with code HAPPY40 for 22 more hours, so until tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. CET. And we do have Edwina Dawson as our final winner of the night. Edwina, congratulations. I hope you are very happy. You will receive a gift card worth $25 or equivalent in your currency. All you got to do is email the lovely Matthias at this email address, live@hobie.com, in order to get your gift card. Edwina Dawson, congratulations to our final winner of the night. Thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you loved today's selection. We have everything from Salt and Shine to our new crafting acrylic. We've got Fio, we've got Fruta, we've got Horizon, we've got Kind Feather, we've got Highland Wool, we have Baby Snuggle, we've got our Friends Extra Fine Merino. So there's a little bit of everything. On Thursday, you can join Matt for our quiz time. It's back. Quiz time is back, and I'll be back next week with another live shopping for you. Until then, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day and take care. Bye!